Hey everybody, welcome to You Need Balance. We'll get started in about a minute here. So if you haven't had a chance to already, make sure you read the description on the video. We do have a Spotify playlist, so if you're more into having some music along with your workout, go ahead and follow the You Need Balance playlist. And I'll make sure I change it up a little bit, but it's really tunes that I think go along well with this workout. So feel free to add that. Also, set your space up with whatever you have. If you have a mat, a blanket, any type of self-massage tools, just go ahead and have it with you. You never know when you might need it. Also, sometimes a block is going to be helpful for any modifications that you might need. So once you're ready, get your stuff together and let's go ahead and take a seat. So for this class, we've been focusing a lot on the arm balances. So I do want to take a few more weeks on working on that. We took a little bit of recovery last week to get yourself back and focused. But now that we're getting settled into this being at home type of lifestyle, I think it's good to just keep yourself moving. So let's go ahead and get started in a comfortable seat. Balance is all about connecting the mind with the body, but also learning how we can balance on our feet, on our hands, on our sit bones, on our head even. So we're going to kind of play around with all of those different options today, starting with mind-body balance. So regardless of where you're coming from, take your time to quiet the mind, close your eyes, and come to a comfortable seat. I want you to take a full body scan from your toes all the way up through your legs, up to your shoulders, and down your arms, and start to think about how you feel. Maybe you have some aches or pains or tightness. And just start to breathe into those areas. Notice where you're holding the most tension. We'll try to relieve some of that tension today. So take a deep breath in as you start to see how your body feels. And exhale it all out here. And we'll go ahead and get started with some stretches. So let's inhale the arms up together. Grab your left wrist and exhale as you stretch open all the way to the side. Nice deep breath. On your next inhale, lift your chest back up and let's switch arms, stretching out to the side. Deep inhale, lift yourself back up. Now open up your chest. Try to bend the elbows, point the elbows forward, reaching your hands back. And then exhale, curl your chest, tuck your chin, bring your forearms together. And then try to draw your elbows away from your chest. Feel that stretch between the shoulder blades. Inhale, back up. We'll do that one more time. Grab the left wrist, stretch over to the side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, stretch to the other side. Start getting in tune with the body here. Inhale, back up. Start to exhale, open up the chest. Point the elbows forward. Really lengthen through the torso. And then exhale again. Start to bring the forearms together. Tuck the chin. And then start to pull your elbows away from the chest. Nice deep stretch. One more inhale up, nice and tall. And then exhale. Let's roll over to all fours. So it might be helpful to adjust to the mat so that you're in line with the mat or whatever type of surface you're on. And because we're still focusing on the arm balances, recenter yourself on your hands. How does it feel to start shifting your weight onto your hands? Do you have a balanced state? Are your hands directly underneath your shoulders? Are all of your fingers engaged? Start to notice how your hands are adapting to the ground. And then we'll come to our quadruped position for a few cat-cows to start sinking the breath. Inhale to look up. And exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, look forward, drop the belly down. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Keep thinking about those hands. Inhale, look forward. Now we'll rock back onto the heels. Turn your fingertips so that they're facing your body and start rocking back so you can get a little stretch in the forearms. Slightly rocking forward and back. And then slowly start to turn the backs of your hands down onto the ground so the fingertips are still facing your body. And start to feel a little stretch in the forearm as you slowly rock back and forward, taking your time here. Feeling a stretch, but not pushing through any joint pain. Take a deep breath in with me. And exhale, shake it out. Let's come back and see if you can sit on your ankles, lift the chest up, pull your shoulder blades down, and just circle out the wrist, wiggle your fingers, start to bring some life into the arms. We'll start to move into our plank and downward dog. So let's rock forward, plant the hands again, being mindful of how they're adapting to the ground. And let's slowly kick one leg back at a time into the plank position. On your exhale, pull the belly button up and push back into downward dog. And then inhale, ride forward, one vertebrae at a time, all the way back into plank. Exhale, pull the belly button up to downward dog. And then slowly start to ride the inhale forward into plank. Exhale back. Notice what it feels like to move with your breath. Inhale forward. And shift your body weight from your hands to your toes. Exhale, downward dog. Notice what it feels like to inhale forward and bring more of your body weight into your hands. Exhale, back to downward dog. One more time. This time in the plank, start to imagine as if you were going to lift yourself off the ground from your hands. Notice how much strength you're pushing into your hands. And then exhale, downward dog. Now take a moment here just to shake out the legs. It might feel good to bend one knee and then the other. Or maybe turn your hips to the side, just stretching out the side body. Whatever extra movements feel good, go ahead and use it here. And then let's come back to neutral. And this time we're working on the hands. So you'll start to march your hands back to your toes. See if you can keep your legs straight. If not, just bend the knees as much as you need to. Tuck the chin and slowly start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take your time here as you roll the shoulders back and lift the head up tall. Let's start to build some heat in the body here with our sun salutations. Come up to the top of the mat or whatever space you have so that you have enough space to walk backward into a plank. Let's inhale the arms up, reach up tall. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, now try to plant the hands and see if you can step one foot back at a time. Now we're back into this plank position, but hold here for a moment. Try to lock your shoulders in. Turn the inside of your elbows so that they're facing forward. And then on your next exhale, drop the knees down first and then slowly lower the chest and the chin and then start to shoot forward into cobra. And we've talked about this a little bit, but remember, cobra, you can leave the lower body on the ground. If you're ready for a little bit more of a deeper stretch, then see if you can go up to upward dog, pressing your feet into the ground and lifting the lower body. So only your toes and your hands are on the ground. One more breath here. Hold on strong. On your next exhale, see if you can roll over your toes and press yourself back into downward dog. Again, take some time to adjust. We're not following any strict guidelines here, so if you need to adjust your hands, do so. If you feel like you're on a slippery surface, maybe change the surface. Get a towel or maybe a different type of mat. And see how your hands can start pressing your body weight back and starting to reach your heels back down to the ground. From downward dog, you should be able to squeeze your quad muscles to help loosen up those hamstrings a little bit more. And then on your next inhale, look forward, raise up on your toes and bend your knees. This is where I want you to start practicing shifting your body weight into your hands. So from here, see if you can press your hands into the ground, and you might be just marching your feet forward. That's okay. You're still working on building that strength. Or you might be ready to step one foot at a time all the way up to the top. We're going to meet here at the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, let's rise up tall, squeezing the glutes and the hamstrings all the way up. And exhale, release all the way back down. We'll do a second variation here. Inhale, bend your knees, tuck your tailbone. Utkatasana, reach the arms up nice and tall. See if you can look up as you balance, looking up towards your thumbs. And then exhale, straighten the legs as you fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the hands here again. Maybe you can hop your feet back this time into that plank position. And then maybe you can start bending the elbows without dropping the knees down. Always using that modification if you need to. Inhale, lift the chest forward. And then exhale, hips back to downward dog. Now we'll start opening up the hips. So the left heel swivels down, the right leg steps through, and you'll start to rise the arms up into warrior one. And then exhale to warrior two. Inhale, flip the right palm up as you reach behind you, straightening out the front leg. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands down, plant the hands, step back into plank. Your version of vinyasa here. Slowly lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Opposite side here. The right heel swivels down. Left foot steps through. Use the strength in your legs. Big inhale, lift up. And then exhale, warrior two. Inhale, the left arm sweeps up and over, stretching out your side body. And exhale, cartwheel all the way back down. Planting those hands. Feel your body weight in those hands as you slowly lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Hold here for a few deep breaths. At any point, you can always drop the knees, press the hips back into child's pose. This is a great pose to use anytime you need to catch your breath. So don't worry, use it, and then join us back when you're ready. Let's push the hips back up and slowly start to come forward. Inhale, rock forward, bend the knees, and see if you can maybe float up to the top of the mat, nice and soft. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Maybe take some time here to grab opposite elbows and sway side to side as we're getting warmed up. Release the arms, and then one vertebrae at a time, slowly start to roll up. Let the head be the last thing up so you don't get dizzy. Take your time here, coming back to the top of the mat. Shake it out a little bit. We'll come into lab flow, a different variation of the hand walk that we did last time. So this time, we're going to use the length of the mat. You're going to inhale the arms up, exhale, fold. Start to balance on the fingertips. See if you can crawl your way on your fingertips back into the plank. If you start to have any pain here, feel free to place the palm back down. We're going to try to build some of that finger strength. See if you can hold yourself in on top of the fingers here. One more deep breath. And then go ahead and come back to the palms if you haven't done so already. Now press the left hand into the ground. We're going to start bringing the right hand up and pull your shoulder blade back. And then kick the left leg out to the side. Slowly start to roll all the way back into plank, and then walk the hands back up, and we'll slowly roll up nice and tall. Okay, so if that was a little confusing, hang in there with me. We're going to do the opposite side. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Let's walk all the way out. Again, using your fingertips or your palms. Once you get into this plank position, we'll all meet into our palms. Now this time the right hand presses into the ground as you start to rock your hips towards the right. The left elbow pulls back like a row, and then the right leg is going to kick through, nice and controlled. All the way back into the high plank, and start walking your hands back, slowly starting to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Let's repeat back on the other side. Take your time here. Slowly fold forward. Remember, you can bend your knees as much as you need to. Take your time coming out into this plank position. We're working on balancing on that one hand. So now it's the left hand's turn. Press into the ground. Start to rotate. Row that arm back and start to kick the left leg through. And then slowly rock all the way back to that plank. Downward dog. Walk yourself back up. Find the strength in your arms as you slowly start to come up. Stretch it out. Try to sink your breath. Really use this exhale to fold forward. Start to walk yourself back. Right hand is really going to press down into the ground so you can start to pull back and kick that leg through. And then all the way back to plank. Downward dog. Slowly come up. We have one more on each side. Let's work on strengthening this together. Exhale, fold all the way out. Left hand presses down. Row, kick through, all the way back, high plank. That's it. Lab flow number one. Working on these progressions. Let's keep it going. Last time here. All the way down, walk it out into high plank. Row the left arm, kick the right leg through, all the way back, rotate, all the way back up to the hands. Keep it going. Tuck the chin, slowly roll up, and shake it out. Grab water if you need it. We're going into our deep squat progression. All right, lab flow 2. Let's do this. Feet are going to be about hip width apart. Let's inhale the arms up nice and tall, and then exhale, start to squat deep. If you have a chair or a bench or even a block, you might use that to put it underneath your hips here. I'll show you to the side because we're actually going to step back. See how low you can go without curving your spine. Using a mirror here can be really helpful. So see if you can sit your hips down low, and then ultimately you can reach your hands to the ground. If your hands come to the ground, see if you can step one leg back at a time, almost like a modified burpee, slow and controlled, and then step your feet back into that squat. Now, to get up, we're starting with the upper body first. These shoulder Ys, pulling your shoulder blades down and back, stand tall, squeeze the glutes at the top, and then we'll repeat opposite side. See how low you can go. If your hands don't come down to the ground, use a staircase, use a bench, something that you can incline your hands, and then step your feet back one at a time. All the way back into that plank. Always start with the same foot that you lead with. Start with those shoulder Ys, pulling those shoulders down and back. Squeeze the glutes up nice and tall. Slow and controlled motions here. So let's go ahead and sink down, deep squat. Starting with the right foot this time, back into the burpee. Right foot again. Deep squat. Lift the chest, shoulders down and back. See if you can stand up tall. Working on that mobility. Back down. Start with the left foot this time. Step back, find that plank. Notice every time your hands make contact with the ground, you're evenly pressing your hands down. Don't forget about your finger strength. All your little fingers, they can help out here. Press your hands, right foot, back into that burpee. Keep leading with the right. Hips down, chest up, lift up nice and strong. One more time on the left side. Stay with me. Who knew moving this slow could be so tiring, huh? You got it. Hold that plank. Left leg is leading again. Hips nice and low. Drive those thumbs up. Slowly stand nice and tall. Squeeze those glutes and shake it out. Lab flow number 2. Feel free to practice these on your own at any time. You got it. Let's go ahead and go into one leg balances, and then we'll take it down to some back bends. Left leg is the standing leg. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. This is like your figure 4 that we've been working on, okay? So you can either stay here, practice your balance, hold on to something if you need to, or slowly start to fold forward. Notice you're getting a nice opening in the hip. Start to bring your hands, your arms to the inside of this shin here, your right shin. If you feel like this is a sticking point, great. Just stay there. Keep balancing, keep stretching. If you can, start to go a little bit further. The next step is to see if you can grab on to your left ankle down here on the ground. And if you're down there grabbing onto your ankle, I want you to think about where your triceps are, the backs of your upper arms. The tricep should be locking into the ankle and then locking into the knee here. This is going to be your support when you do go out into this arm balance. Okay? So if you're here and you can touch the ground, go ahead and try. See if you can plant your hands and practice shifting your weight forward and back. And if you feel ready, feel free to go ahead and lift off. Take your time. As I mentioned, there's all of these variations. So the first step is, can you balance? The second step is the stretch. See how far you can reach. And then you're starting to adapt to the hands and see if you can lift off in that balance. Take your time. It takes years and years of practice. So if you're here right now, be grateful, be thankful, and you'll get ready to balance. All right, shake it out. Let's see how the other side feels. Always feels a little bit different. Right leg is the standing leg. Let's start with our options here. Remember, you can always hold on to something. Depends on where you are, what you feel like doing today, what your body needs. Stay here, figure 4, stretch. If you're feeling good, go ahead and push those hips back. See if you can reach down. And notice this side might feel a little different. Maybe you can reach further on this side, or maybe not as far. That's okay. So remember, first you're grabbing onto the ankle. Notice this foot has to be nice and flexed so you can lock your tricep in. Keep it strong. And then if you're ready, you can slowly start to shift your weight into your hands and start to see what it feels like to become light and lift off into your arm balance. Take your time as you slowly start to come out, shake it out. Again, be mindful. Wherever you are here, just enjoy it. Try to maintain your breath as much as you can. It's tiring, but that's all right. It's good for us. So go ahead and shake it out. Notice where you are. Notice where you feel. We have one more arm balance before we take it back down. Now that our hips are nice and open, we're going to try to start shifting our weight forward and back from our crow position, our bakasana. We just did that deep squat. So the same idea, if you were doing this deep squat and this was about as far as you can go, then using some sort of a bench or a staircase is a great way to start practicing shifting your weight forward. Ultimately, you're going to start getting your hands into the ground. The same thing we've been working on this whole time. Start shifting your body weight into your hands. And if you're ready, see if you can really lock the knees up into those armpits, squeezing into your triceps. And again, just start by rocking forward and back. All right, don't be afraid. When I first started doing this and practicing this, my dog hated it because I would always fall and crash and it would scare him. That's okay. Sometimes you have to fall. Sometimes you have to crash down to build yourself back up. I think that's all happening to us right now. Anyway, so let's start to shift forward, squeeze the elbows in, and see if you can start lifting off. Maybe you can lift one foot at a time. Again, this is all strength work. Even if you're sitting here this whole time and you're like, my feet are not coming off the ground, you're still working on building that strength by practicing shifting your body weight. And then ultimately one day you're going to lift up through the core, keep your gaze, and you're going to bring the big toes together. And then ultimately you can shoot right back into plank. All right, let's go ahead and drop those knees down. Wherever you are, we're going to be in child's pose. Take a breath here, shake it out. From the outside, it doesn't look like much, but it's a lot of inner strength. So that's why sometimes it's fun, and it could be kind of cool to wear a heart rate monitor during this, even though it's not interval training and you're not really thinking cardio. It can be kind of cool to watch your heart rate change through this. Okay. When you're ready, let's come to kneeling. So you're just going to come from child's pose, rock your hips forward, and we're going to kneel with your knees about hip width apart and your hips right on top of your knees. Now I want you to slowly start to rock back. See how far you can go until you can lift yourself back up. Do you feel your quads engaged? See if you can really squeeze the of your knees and your hips and your shoulders. Notice how they're all staying together, but they're moving behind the knee. What we want to do for this next pose, Ustrasana, or camel posture, is to keep the hips on top of the knees. So instead of moving them back like this, you're going to keep them where they are and bend at the back. So first level, take your palms and put them right on the small of your back here, behind your sacrum. And see if you can inhale, just lift the chest, especially if you have a sore back or any back issues. Take your time here, really listen to your body. It's all about mind-body balance so that we can listen to our body to know what it needs. So let's inhale, lift the chest. This is level 1. See how this feels. You're pushing your knees into the ground, squeezing the glutes, and then slowly push back into child's pose. Okay, this is the counter pose for this. Deep breath in, and deep breath out. Now slowly start to rock forward again. Level 2, you can stay where you are with level 1, or see if maybe you can squeeze your glutes and start leaning back a little bit. Maybe now your gaze comes to look straight up towards the ceiling. And then slowly come back. Use this counter posture as child's pose. Okay, listen to your body here. Slowly come back up. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core. Press your hands into the back. See if you can start leaning back a little bit further. If you feel comfortable, keep your gaze where it is and see if you can reach down to your calves. Notice how your hands are kind of like little kickstands. And I shouldn't really be turning my head and looking at you right now, but I want to make sure you're still with me, all right? So try to keep your gaze where it is. You don't want to turn your neck. And then if you feel comfortable, see if you can walk back to your ankles. Maybe you can grab on to the inner arches of your feet. Notice your hips are not moving back like this. They're staying stacked on top of the knees like we talked about. See if you can lift your chest and let your head relax down. Nice big stretch, opening up the core, the chest, the shoulders. We just did a lot of upper body, so let yourself loosen up here. And then slowly using your core, don't whip your head up. Lift yourself up one vertebrae at a time, and then everybody's going to meet in child's pose. Even if you were just on level 1 there, just lifting the chest, child's pose is still a great counter stretch to kind of work out all of that strength that we just did. Pretty intense back bends. Great job. Take a deep breath in. Slowly rock forward, and we're going to come to a seat. So you can either cross your ankles and rock back, or come to a seat, however feels comfortable to you. Dandasana staff posture, a great neutralizing pose here. We're going to sit straight up with the legs straight and active. Press the hands into the ground, lift the chest, and tuck the chin. If this is really difficult for you to sit with the legs straight like this, a few options. One, you could just bring your hands a little bit further back, or you could take a cushion, a blanket, a pillow, or something like that. Maybe even fold up the edge of your mat to help prop your hips up a little bit higher so you have a little cushion to sit on. And just be here in this moment, in this posture. How is everything feeling? What are you noticing? Is your heart racing? Are you still feeling that tension that you felt when we first started and we did that body scan? Start to see what you're feeling. And then it might feel good to slowly just walk one hand forward at a time, as far as you can, maybe grabbing onto your feet. Just let the head hang, just relax, counter stretch out that back. Take a deep breath in and out. Beautiful job. Paschimottanasana. We're going to go ahead and practice opening up the hips so that we can try a lotus type posture or another balance. So the first is going to be to take your left hand, reach it across and grabbing onto the outside of the right foot and see if you can lift off. Now, if you're really tight and you're sitting here like, I can't reach that, just bend your knee, bring it closer to you, and see how you can reach out with the knee bent as much as it needs to. Once you're here, start to kick through the heel. See if you can start straightening that leg, and then make sure it's parallel to the other leg. So you don't want it to be crossing over. Keep it nice and long. See if you can sit up a little bit taller, and then start to walk behind you. The right hand is coming behind you for support, and we're just twisting here. See if you can straighten out that leg, kick through the heel. Take one more glance forward to make sure your legs aren't crossing. You're keeping that right leg straight. And then turn and look behind you a little bit further. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale out. And then start to bend the knee, turn and look forward. And we're going to forklift your right shin into your chest. So your elbows are going to grab onto your shin, keeping that foot flexed. And you're going to sit up tall and see how close you can bring your chest to the shin, or really your shin to your chest. Whatever feels good there. And if this feels good, stay here. Keep stretching it closer to the chest. If you'd like to take it the next step, you're going to take the inside of your arm, your elbow, and you're going to wrap it around the bladed edge of your foot. Keep this foot flexed, nice and active, all right? Then you're going to slide this arm out and wrap the elbow around the leg this way. So now you're cradling your shin like a baby and keeping this leg nice and long. So the left leg, don't forget about it. Keep the toes up, squeezing, lifting the chest. And again, you might be staying here for like, a couple weeks, couple months, couple years, whatever it takes. Slowly start to loosening up. And once your shin gets close to your chest, you can slowly start to bring it across your body and lay it into the hip crease of your left leg. See how that feels. Take your time here. Wherever you are, you're getting benefits by opening up the hip. And so then you can either bend the left leg and just kind of hang out here. Let it stretch out. You're going to feel the hip opening. If you start to feel it in the knee, then reverse back. Regress into the next level before that so you can really start opening up the hip rather than putting pressure on the knee. And ultimately, this is going to lead you to your lotus. So we're going to do it on this side. Go ahead and slowly release out of the posture. Take your time. And now we want to try it on the other side. So reach your right arm across, grab the bladed edge of your foot, start to lift up nice and tall. The same cues, we're looking to make sure this leg stays active. The right leg is active on the ground. We're reaching out nice and tall and start to turn and look behind you. Find a stretch. One more glance forward. Make sure both of the feet actually are flexed and active, and you're kicking straight, so you're not crossing that leg over. All right, kick it up. Look behind you again. Lengthen, deep breath in. And exhale, slowly start to turn your head forward and then start to bend your knee, and we're forklifting the shin again. Now take your time here. Again, everything might feel totally different, especially as we get into these deep hip stretches. Check your feet. Are they active? How close is your shin to your chest? If you're getting any knee pain, again, revert back to the previous level. And keep working on this until you get there. You can watch this video again and again to help practice opening up the hips. And then slowly start to wrap the inside of your elbow around the foot and around the knee and start cradling it like a baby. Sit up nice and tall, flex the foot, keep the right leg nice and straight. And hold here. You might just be stretching, opening up the hips. When you're ready, you can slowly start to move that leg across to the right hip crease. See if it's ready to lay down there. Again, notice any knee pain. If the hip is really tight, then your knee is probably going to be taking a lot of the stress. So don't push yourself to try to get, I want to get this lotus. It will come eventually. So notice how you feel. Whatever level you're at, enjoy the stretch. Maybe you bend the right knee and start to let your hips sag to the side. Nice opening of the hip here. While you're watching the news, staying up to date with how long you're going to have to stay inside, just kind of sit here in this little stretch here. It's almost like a figure four, but leaning to the side. Start to open up the hip. And then slowly start to rock back, and we'll slowly unwind. Shake it out a little bit. All right, time for a little bit more core and arms. So eventually what this would lead to is a little lotus. So you would kind of lock your legs up together. Traditionally, the right leg goes first, and then the left leg. And then once the legs are all wrapped up together, you can lift yourself and kind of dangle, rocking forward and back. And it's all fun and games kind of from there. If you're not quite there yet, you can try one leg. So try just crossing one leg, and then the other leg is just going to cross underneath you. Press your hands into the ground. See if you can lift up that one leg, and then lower back down. And if neither of the legs are there, that's perfectly fine too. We can still work our core and our upper body by just sitting cross-legged, pressing your hands into the ground. See if you can lift your hips off the ground. Notice how you have to pull your belly button up and in, and then drop the hips and see if you can hug your knees into your chest. And we're going to rock forward and back like that. So you're going to lift, press your hands down, lift your hips up. And hips down, lift your feet up. See if you can balance on your sit bones. Many different aspects of balancing here. So rock forward, lift your hips, press your hands down, and rock back. Whichever variation you're doing, make sure you take your turn and cross the legs the opposite way. So then you'll press your hands down, lift the hips up, and slowly lower back down, all the way back. Rock forward, plant the hands, press down, lift up, and hips down, rock all the way back. Great job. One more time like that. Let's really lift up and rock back. Great job. If you need some water, this is a great time to take a sip. And ultimately, we will all meet together on our back. So let's slowly take our time getting down there. Start to massage your back into the ground, doing any extra adjustments that feel good, making sure you're hugging your knees into your chest. Shake it out a little bit. Go back to that full body scan. How does everything feel? Do you feel any tension? Do you feel any tightness? Are you impressed by what you just did or disappointed? Start to think about how you feel. And then we'll slowly start to straighten one leg out and then the other leg out. Okay, we're going to try to come into a balance on the sit bones here. So the first option is to sit all the way up, bend your knees, use your peace fingers to grab onto your big toes, the yogi lock. It's helpful to help bind your toes. And then see if you can grab your toes and start to straighten them out, balancing on your sit bones. See if you can squeeze the legs in together, squeeze the toes. Now my toes are pushing away from my hands, and my hands are pulling my toes towards my face. So you're creating this oppositional force to help keep your core strong and to help you balance. And then see if you can rock back and then come all the way back up to balance. Squeeze the core, lift up nice and tall. Try that again. See if you can rock back, maybe touching your toes over the head, and then rock all the way up and balance. Take your time here. It might feel good to straighten one leg at a time, or maybe bend the knees as much as you need to, but still try to lift the chest and lengthen the spine. Let's try that one more time. See how it feels. Maybe you just grab one leg at a time and start practicing with that one leg until you're ready to do both. And then if you do that, make sure you switch. So you're working on rocking and then coming up to that balance into whichever position you're ready for. Notice how it's all core. Lift your arms up overhead. We'll all come back onto the back, stretching out nice and long. Maybe rock your hips from side to side. Shake it out a little bit. Take a deep breath in, stretch. Then exhale it all out. Now, bring your feet about the width of the mat and let your knees knock in together. And then we'll slowly just sway the knees side to side like they're windshield wipering side to side. Loosening up the hips, just shake it out. A lot of upper body and core work today. So breathe, shake it out here. And then you're going to cross your right leg over your left. And if you have the ankle lock, you can try wrapping your ankle around too, like an eagle or Gardasana pose. And then the legs are coming all the way over to the left, but you're turning to look toward your right. Reach your right arm out as far as you can towards the right, palm up, and let your body just relax here and stretch. Supine twist. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. One more breath in. And exhale out. Now slowly start to lift with the core and unwind. You're going to switch the legs, crossing the ankle over, maybe getting that ankle lock. And let the legs fall over to the right. Open up the chest, turn and look towards that left arm. Palm up, deep breath in, and deep breath out. You've made it to the cool down. You've made it to the finishing sequence or the death of the practice. Try to keep your mind focused here. Don't think about what you have coming up. Try to let your body relax and re-lengthen after all of that hard work that we just did. Rebalance the mind with the body. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Then use your core to lift your legs all the way back up, unwind, shake it out. We're going to come into a meditative shavasana. So do what you need to adjust the room. Maybe turn your lights off, maybe get a blanket or put some socks on, make sure you're warm. And ultimately, you're going to come to just lay flat on your back. Close your eyes and completely relax, losing all control of your body. Take a full body scan, just like we did at the beginning of this class. Notice if you felt any tension, how does it feel now? Notice, are you sweating? Is your heart racing? Are you starting to cool down a little bit? How does everything feel after class? See if you can slowly just start to melt into the mat, like you're letting go of all muscle control. And to do this, you really need to use your full body scan to identify if you're actually holding tension in places that you don't really think you are. So stay here laying flat on the back with your eyes closed. And I just want you to be mindful of how the body feels. And I'll take you through a little bit of a meditative walkthrough here. Take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out through the mouth. And now think about any regret or anything that has not gone so right over the past few weeks. Anything that you've still been kind of thinking about or your mind has been hanging on to. It could be regretful, or it could just be, oh, I wish I did it that way, or I wish this happened that way. Think about a specific situation. Once you have that in mind, maintain your breath. Deep inhale and deep exhale. And I want you to think about why you're disappointed about that situation or decision. What were you expecting instead? What was it that prevented you from meeting your expectations of how it would have turned out? And then start to think, what were there other resources that you need? Was it actually realistic for it to turn out the way you expected? Did you need more information? Did you need some help? And then once you think about these different questions, start rewriting your experience in your head based off of what you learned, how it turned out, what you're thinking about now. Can you rewrite the experience in your head? Keeping your mind focused. Take a deep breath in and exhale it all out. These types of situations, and even this time that we're in now, can lead to a lot of stress or fear or anxiety. So I want to walk you through a breathing sequence that you can use to help reset the mind, to help you relax. So as you lay there, releasing all control of your muscles, take a deep breath in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now hold your breath. And exhale, slow and controlled for 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Now slowly come back to your breathing. Deep inhale through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Start wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe curling up into a tight ball, rocking side to side. And take your time, maybe rolling your neck out, rolling your shoulders. Take any extra movements, any different breaths that you need. And we'll come back to a seated position, just like we started. Take your time as you cross your legs and just let your arms relax down on your knees. Keep your eyes closed or nice and soft. And try to sit up tall, pulling your shoulders down and back. Take a deep breath in as you rise your arms up overhead. And then exhale, fold forward. Maybe reaching your arms a little bit more forward. Relax the head. Thank you for coming to get balanced with us today. Let everything out. Slowly release. Take your time coming back into the space. If you have time, try not to just rush back to work. Review this video at any point, or even the 6-4-10 breathing sequence. Use that throughout the day. And if you liked this, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get updates through all the different classes we'll be doing throughout this week. We'll be adding a few more every week to help keep you moving throughout the day. And if you have any questions or if you need any specific modifications or anything, please feel free to email me at Skylar, that's SKYLAR, at youneedthelab.com. Any questions or anything, feel free to share our page. And I hope you enjoyed it. You're welcome, and have a great day.